Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the GOAT, or the greatest of all Titos, and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of all Titos or uncles around the world. Possibly a few, but definitely not all.
Has Hollywood lost its touch? Let's talk about it. Hey, kamusta? It's your Tito E-Boy, also known as the GOAT. Or the greatest of all Titos, and welcome back to the channel. I mentioned that kasi parang lately, parang Hollywood has been coming out with movies which are sequels of very, very old movies. Siguro pinaka-classic naman that I think worked still is yung Star Wars franchise, wherein the first movie came out in 1976. It was bluntly titled Star Wars. And I wasn't really hooked into Star Wars. Up to now, hindi naman ako fan. I cannot talk much about Star Wars except ang pag-usapan lang si Luke Skywalker lang, but everything else wala. And the first trilogy, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, what blew me away was nung 1997 ba yun? 1999 actually. What actually blew my mind was in 1999 when they announced that there was an episode 1 coming out. That blew my mind kasi when the original trilogy came out, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, nung pinakaunang, the first time they brought it out, when it first came out, it was just titled as is. When the 25th anniversary of those movies came out, nung niremaster na nila, dahil mga edit here and there, that's when they started tweaking it. I remember in college, we were looking at the Star Wars website, and dun lang namin nalaman that the original trilogy in the 70s, they renamed it. The first Star Wars, they changed it, they named it to A New Hope. And then, aside from A New Hope, they also added Episode 4 to make it appear na it has been there all along, pero hindi. So anyway, Episode 4, 5, and 6, the original trilogy. And then in 1999, they announced Episode 1, which is a prequel, or the prelude. Basta, so it became Episode 1, 2, and 3. When I was in college, I distinctly remember looking at the website, and when Episode 1 was first announced, so makita mo sa website ng Star Wars, sa taas nun, may parang navigation bar sila, where in the middle, Episodes 4, 5, and 6. And then, on the leftmost, it's Episode 1, 2, and 3. And then there was already a 7, 8, 9. And this was in the 90s. And we were trying to speculate what it was kasi it was blurred out pa, hindi mo siya makiklik, ganun. And 7, 8, 9, walang storya, it was blurred out. Klarong-klaro siya, 7, 8, 9. And so we were trying to figure out, baka naman buhay na to ni Leia and ni Han Solo, ganyan. Future nila, buhay nila, pamilya nila, ganyan. And then when Episode 3 came out, for some weird reason, nawala yung 7, 8, 9. So we thought that the story only ended in Episode 6. Ayos lang. And then, nabuhay ulit pagdating ng Episode 7. But anyway, so I don't think that counts kasi medyo from the time it started. Let's talk about other movies that had like, they started out nung mga 80s, 90s, ganun. And then suddenly, it surprised everyone with a sequel. Yun. So like, yung pinakasikat ngayon, Top Gun, came out in 1986. And then in 2022, nagkaroon ng sequel. Maverick, which was very well received. Ganda ng pagkagawa, I would like to say. Another movie that had a sequel was Hocus Pocus. I don't think it was hindi yata lumabas sa sine. But then Hocus Pocus first came out in 1993, and then the sequel, Hocus Pocus 2, came out on Disney+. So I think, but that still counts, right? Another interesting sequel was Ghostbusters Afterlife, which came out in 2022, which is clearly a sequel to the first two Ghostbusters, 1 and 2, which came out in 1984. And talagang, sort of saying, binastos nila yung remake ng Ghostbusters na yung puro babae. Yung parang, tawag na yung gender swap nila. Parang hindi nila in-acknowledge yung movie na yun. And released Ghostbusters Afterlife, and then acknowledging the first two. Still nice. I like the movie actually. Ganda ng ano niya. And then you have Rocky. The first Rocky movie came out in 1976, and what blew my mind was when the movie Creed came out. Now alam na natin yung story ng Creed, pero when the first Creed movie came out, yung trailer niya nakakakilabot. Kasi nga, yung character ni Michael B. Jordan, it was a trailer. It was not established na Creed pala yung apelido niya. It was something else. I think he, when I watched the movie, I think he got the mom's last name. Something like that. Tapos yung trailer niya, basta, better to watch the trailer here. Makikita mo siya doon. Mas ma-appreciate mo. Yeah. Some notable mentions, but I don't think ganun ka-exciting kasi medyo predictable naman. Yung Scream series. Kasi they're coming out with Scream 6 this year. And also, the Fast series, Fast 1 to 10. Hindi naman nata ganun ka-exciting bagay. But it's still worth mentioning. So anyway, going back to what I said at the beginning, para yata hindi na yata nagiging masyadong creative ang Hollywood to the point that they're just using old movies to rekindle everybody's excitement. What do you think? Okay, from the States, let's go all the way to Ireland, and one of the most talked about bands in the early 90s, especially ng panahon ko, The Course. Si Andrea, si Sharon, si Caroline, and si Jim. This Irish band, kakapatid sila, and they're coming out with a concert this year, October 21, 22, I think, or 21, or 11, 21, 22, yeah, October 21, 22 at the Araneta Coliseum, the Big Dome, titawag nila. And it's interesting because they came out in the 90s. I remember nung college, may friend ako, sobrang obsessed siya kay Andrea Corr. In love siya sa kilikili ni Andrea Corr. It's sobrang kinis daw. Interesting. The Course, if you're not familiar of who they are, ang mga sikat na songs sila is Breathless, I Never Really Loved You Anyway, and Runaway. Marami, pero those are the three notable songs. Yan ang mga madalas na naririnig mo sa mga video, okay? Dahil yung mga may breakup. So tomorrow, well, again, when you watch the video, it's gonna be today. But tomorrow will be the first time that I'll be playing with my old band, my old church band in a while. So when na-excite ako, bumili pa ako ng drumsticks. So, excited much. Kasi drummer ako eh. And tagal na ako hindi nag-drum. Siguro mga 4 years. I'll try to see kung makaka-capture ko ng a little drumming. That's it, Pansit. See you tomorrow.